So we are in season 5, and we
Uh-huh.
went from slut shaming to fat shaming, and off to a good start on episode 1 here.
Here we
Season
go.
5.
I'm not really sure what I've done to you, but I'll take a Pinot Grigio.
This was a ride. Now, we left off, and we talked about this on our reunion. We left off with a really kind of bitter taste in our mouth, thinking like, oh my God, these people are at each other's throats. How are we supposed to watch this? How are we supposed to like enjoy this? How do you feel about how we kicked it off, sir?
Well, I mean, we didn't know where we were going at all. I mean, we talked for a while after the reunion about it being so contentious and so everyone's all over the place. You know, what exactly are we looking for? And I believe this is an unsurprising intro episode here.
Yeah, I mean,
there are some details that emerge that are a little surprising, but as
sure.
the feeling like we have a bunch of clashes going on, we have a bunch of big egos. So, I mean, really, that's where we left off.
James and Lala are dragging it into the ditch in a way that I don't know if we've ever been this deep in the mire before. I mean,
not intentional, at least. I mean,
exactly.
That is exactly where it's going.
There is a maliciousness that's happening, but we left off feeling kind of really grody about how awful it was in the reunion, and now we're kind of like, after we like, oh, let's take a nap and clear our palate, and then we'll get up in season 5 will be a new entry. No, feeling pretty crummy about it too, a little bit. Like it's a decent. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy a certain amount of drama. I enjoy a certain amount of like at each other's throats, but this made me feel I got the ick a little bit.
Yeah, and I think with the place, where it actually was, I think this was like we had some garbage piling up in the house last week. This week it got spread all over the front yard.
And this season they did a little something different with the opening. Instead of doing scenes from last whatever, we got a peek into the season. And I just made a quick list. I'm not going to get into it because obviously we will, but here we go. And some of it addresses our dreams, predictions, hopes, and wishes. Some of it contradicts them, whatever. But let's say we have a wedding. They travel to a few places, which we kind of said. There's some breakups, there's some assholes, there's some tears, lot of whores, some fake friends, and somebody's dick doesn't work. Well, we know dick doesn't work. And Lisa's very upsetting hairdo. Like, oh, yike. But that's
upsetting hairdos could be the subtitle of this season so far.
Yeah. So we get the intro. That was like the scene. So we get the intro. We always get a new one. The new pairings for this like glossy intro. Jax, Stassi, Sheena. Huh. Strange.
There's Jossie. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Right. James, Ariana, Sandoval.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, Schwartz, Kristen. No Lala, no Brittany. Not in the individuals. They got them in the group shot, but not in the individual. So I don't know if that's foreshadowing, which also there were many times whenever my butthole was clenching and I was like, oh my God, they're doing that thing that Jeff really hates when it's like, everything is so great. Oh, it's so wonderful. That happened several times.
Yeah. And I was almost even like, I wish Brittany and Lala both had been in the reunion more. And I was a little forgiving thinking like, well, by the time we get to next year, they're going to be major players and not in the opening, not in the intro. I was pretty surprised.
But if episode 1 is any indication, it seems like they're going to be a major factor. And Brittany's working at SUR now. Brittany's working at SUR now.
Couldn't be a bigger part.
Which kind of sets the clock a little bit, resets the clock a little bit on this show being about waitresses and waiters, which Lisa says that she hired her because they were super busy. Maybe she hired her because there was an outcry. I was like, I started watching this fucking show to see people work at a restaurant, and these people are out here at an OK Magazine party. Like, help me out here, Vanderpump Rules. Mm-hmm. So maybe Lisa like reverse engineered it to now where the clock has restarted, and we do have this newbie who doesn't know how to pronounce Sauvignon Blanc. Sir, I know they got white wine in Kentucky.
She's had a year also. Like,
yes, but I know they got white wine in Kentucky. Okay, don't talk to me about.
We got Chablis. We got Chardonnay. So that's the two.
That's right. But before I really, really get into it, I just got to make note of two glaring differences between season 4 and season 5. Number one is Sandoval's "he was a skater boy, I said see you later boy" hair with a blonde extension.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, Lisa has hired someone from Central Casting who was trying to get hired for background player in The Office, middle management brown suit. No, just kidding. That's Peter with short hair and no facial hair. Oh my God.
I thought Ralph Macchio had packed on a few pounds and jumped behind the line at SIRS. What had happened? I was like, when did they get Ralph Macchio?
If
It
Ralph
was
Macchio was 6
Ralph
inches taller.
Machismo was in here playing Peter.
Wait, Ralph Machismo is Peter's new nickname. I hope you know
That's
that,
off the
right?
dome. That's fine.
That was, I know, we're really cooking today. But we pick up at Sir and we find out Sheena and Lala are beefing. Okay. Oh, and
Big time.
Sheena's wearing colored contacts in one of her confessionals. Oh, Jeff, kill me. Kill me. Zombie Sheena. I did not have that on my bingo card.
But I can see that. I think it all started with the bright teeth, and then it's everything else is going from there. Yeah.
Yeah, the teeth, her eyeballs were like, you're not stealing my spotlight, teeth. Let me get in here. Let me get in this mix. But Sheena and Lala are beefing big time. Oh, Brittany is, since she's working at Sir, Jax is still on this like, oh my God, so much togetherness. They work, play, and live together. Let's just take a second and kind of like talk about this generally before we get into like the meat of their problems here. They work together, which he engineered.
Yep.
They live together, which he engineered, and they play together and go out, which is sort of a function of the other two.
Yeah. This was a big issue towards the end of last year. They were in too tight of an apartment. It was too much, and he didn't know, even though he had gotten her out there, gotten her boobs, done all this stuff. Now they've gotten in a bigger apartment, and it's all these months later, and it's still a major. Like, do you think they didn't talk about it up until he got behind the confessional camera, and then was all of a sudden like,
well,
by the way, this has really been a pain.
Well, I bet you he has been nonstop bitching about it. I bet that is the only thing she's heard from the minute they signed that lease until now. And so now he's just got a bigger audience for his complaints. But I'm a little concerned. I'm a little worried, not for them generally, because, they're beyond hope. But for us as like the podcast who have to talk about this, I do not want to talk about the same bullshit over and over, especially with Katie and Schwartz. I even wrote a note to myself later. I don't want to talk about how much he hates her. That's not, what are we supposed to do? Every episode, they're giving us more and more evidence to a fact that we've already proven, that's already been adjudicated. What are we supposed to absorb here? Like, how are we, like, great, okay, we got it. He hates her. So now I can just watch him berate her for the rest of the season for 20 more episodes? That could go for either one of them.
Yeah, and it's not one-sided. They're just hating on each other. I mean, a lot.
Yeah, apparently his dick doesn't work.
Well, maybe it's stuck in that wig somewhere and it's all weighted down because that thing looks heavy.
Yes, well, also, too, maybe it's because he's not sitting in the cuck chair in the corner watching Katie get fucked by another man.
See, that is where we left off. That was like the last thing you said last season, and here we go.
But so I just wanted to register my complaint with the committee here, okay? And of course, we are going to talk about it and around it and to it and all of that. But I'm just complaint registered. But like I said, Sheena and Lala are beefing, but Lala is still skanky hoe, just like she was.
Yeah, we're 13 seconds in until we get our first skanky hoe. I
was about to say,
like, here we go.
If you're putting $1 in a jar for every time somebody says whore or skank or any synonym of the two, you're going to Tahiti at the end. And then, so Sheena, this is the first one where I wrote, I'm worried about Jeff, because Sheena was like, me and the other girls are in such a good place. We're just so good friends. And I was like, ooh, Jeff's worried about that because we know what happens, don't we?
It's going to fall apart.
And this is the OK Magazine party. Now, last year, was the OK Magazine was the one where they dared Stassi to go over there and talk to Kristen.
Yeah, it's when there was like, the two tribes, basically. And there was, there was the Stassi team, and then there was the burgeoning Katie and Sheena team.
But so now it's a different, two different teams have emerged, and we'll get to the OK Party in a minute. But before that, sir, do you want to talk about Lala being in a movie with Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, and Adrienne Grenier? Okay, girl.
Nope, she didn't make it in the final cut. Sorry.
Did you watch it?
No, but I knew the movie and looked it up and she's not done it. Yeah.
I looked it up too, but maybe she had a quick one. We're going to have to watch it to see for ourselves.
Well, she's not in the credits anywhere for it, so that's a bit of a...
Jeffrey, that is so humiliating.
Sorry. Oh, I mean, she tried. She probably showed up and got something filmed and probably got some money for it, which is a lot more than these other folks in their side hustle.
But also, too, she's probably doing this interview like long before it comes out. And so she's telling the world she's in this movie, and then people are going to see it. And they're like, think about how much roasted she must have gotten online.
Yeah.
But also got her ass dragged.
That happened.
Yes, I do. I just kind of feel sorry for the humiliation she's inevitably going to endure. But we learn a little bit that there's been some stuff happening in between seasons for Katie and Lala and James. And apparently, I'm going to assume it's on social media that Lala's talking shit, calling her a blob, calling her cake, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to assume that's social media because I doubt they're standing, in front of each other toe to toe, just like shouting names when the cameras are not on them. So I am a little reluctant because now in reality TV, especially housewife stuff, that they call it the blogs or social media has such a huge part in how the women interact and how they hold each other accountable for what kind of friend they are. Oh, well, you liked a tweet that was mad at me, or you reposted an Instagram. But here in that moment, 2016, not 2016. In 2016, we were supposed to, as an audience, we were supposed to pretend that they didn't exist outside of the bubble of the shooting days. And so for them to bring in stuff that happened outside it without them putting the tweets on the screen like they do now is a little disorienting. And I imagine it would have been disorienting to those who were watching in 2016 as well.
Yeah, I think this is definitely, we've seen them mentioning social media, obviously, the last couple of years. And I think this is really this year, you can tell it's going to be stepped up.
What they don't mention as well, the fact that they're even getting invited to an OK Magazine party is evidence of a larger stardom that the show is not acknowledging. And you and I, this is part of the conversation that we heard that me and you had the other day after we talked about the reunion, is that the show is really kind of asking us to believe something that we know not to be true. There's this post-truth situation that it's living in, that we know that these folks are probably not, slanging drinks and goat cheese balls. But the show is still peddling us that myth.
Because they're not there as the Vanderpump Rules, the SUR staff. They're there as the stars of Vanderpump Rules. News doesn't get to Lisa immediately when the staff's out causing trouble like it does when they're at one of her buddies' restaurants, because it's a totally different ballgame.
The whole idea that things are happening off camera, you know how I feel about that. But we do get confirmation that this is Katie's wedding is this summer. I think I was reluctant to jump on board that prediction. I was like, oh, is it going to happen? But apparently it does. We see Lisa is officiating the damn thing, which, Jesus Christ, get off her jock, Katie, for fuck's sake. But this is also the summer of new apartments. Kristen and Carter have moved in together. Jax and Brittany have a new apartment. Even the Bubbas, they have a new apartment now. So they
Shorty has a new apartment.
That's right. That's why I said the Bubbas. But they must have gotten a raise, right? That everybody's out here just like
constantly.
Yeah. You know who didn't get a new apartment? Ariana and Sandoval. They're still in that.
Oh no, he's chained there. He sold his soul to somebody. He has to live there.
That's right. He's under a curse. But this is number 2.
I wonder if he's just acquiring new property, like within that building. Like he owns, like he's the super. He really is buying up different apartments in that building.
He's fixing toilets when he's not on Vanderpump Rules. That's what that's what his side gig is. But this is another place right here. Whenever they told us Kristen and Carter's new apartment, and they go in, and I wrote, "Oh no, not again!" Because Kristen was like, "Things are pretty fantastic." This is 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
2 times that somebody has declared how wonderful things are. So we know how things are going. I do have a quick question for you, clarification. She goes on and on about how things have been in the past, whatever. And she says that with Carter, things are equal. And then she's like 60-40. Who's the 60?
Yeah.
Who's the 40?
I'm guessing she's the 60. Otherwise, why is
Yeah.
she talking about it? And like,
Yeah.
really just to bring up the money thing, to end up saying that it's fine now, like, is just to talk shit about the other people, which is,
Mhm.
if you're, if you've grown so much, you may not need to bring those kind of things up, but that's just where we are.
Well, you know how like a tree can grow around a fence, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's still
well,
growth.
Kristen is gonna talk shit about people. Like
Mhm.
later on, we get a scene where she's got double birds and she's doing her shoulders and double birds.
Yeah.
So, the fence is embedded in the tree, yet it grows.
And she is talking about her growth, or we know about her growth and how things are good, are going great for her. And she's going to
So
go to this
great.
party and wear a fake engagement ring.
Okay. So this is a thing that women do when they wait tables.
Yes.
to fend the men off, right?
Right.
But number one, she doesn't have a job. Number two, she got a man. Why does she have a fake engagement ring? And is it for her to like taunt Carter with it?
Luckily, Stassi is there to say, no, chill out. Just go to the party that you're invited to. You're doing well as yourself. Just do that.
Yeah. We do learn too, this is important for future narratives, that Stassi also hates Lala and James. We know Kristen where she stands, but Stassi too hates it. But apparently Lisa Vanderpump doesn't hate James because he still has his job at Pump. So
Lisa's worried about him though.
Yes. And I'm also growing very weary of Lisa saying shit like, well, when it affects my business, ma'am, you don't care if it affects your business. And in fact, what's happening among these young dummies is helping your business.
Yeah.
grow.
And which business are you talking about though? Do you mean Sir, or do you mean your executive producer job here? Because those are
exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that they want us to think that those two things work at cross purposes, but we know at this point they don't. Like, I even wonder if back then in 2016, you could buy like a special package to get waited on by one of the Vanderpump Rules cast.
No, I bet it was always, you got to roll those dice. Like, because that makes it more, you're just going to go there all the time. Like just
Fair
to
enough.
see.
Yeah. They show some flashbacks of some of his greatest hits. And Lisa's, again, my patience is running out. No, it's not. No, it's not, because you love a problematic man and you got the biggest one here. So we're at the bar. What do you think about Sandoval's hair?
I believe it's the next logical step in the evolution. I see this as just fine. Like, Schwartz comes in with that hair, then it's like, that's very weird. Sandoval shows up with it. I'm like, yes, of course you got that. Like, rock on, man.
So,
I honestly no issues with it.
You weren't jarred by it? I was like, whoa, it's like a jump scare. I just wrote, it's given soft boy.
No, I mean, Sandoval would have to go out there for me to, I mean, he's willing to take a chance. He wants it to be, I mean, he's not going to come in with the same look. He's definitely not wearing the same dress to 2 award shows kind of person.
I like that he takes chances, right?
Yeah.
And I really like that he's always trying to mix it up. I think this is a miss. But enough about Sandoval's hair. Let's get to this story that Jax is either very, very embarrassed about or very, very proud of. I cannot sort out.
Yeah. And this is where I guess you've been getting this nickname I keep hearing also, is from this story.
Well,
Jax gets home after a big night at Sir.
Well, really quick, let me just give credit. So I got the nickname from a podcast, Danny Pellegrino's Everything Iconic, and I believe this is where he got the nickname. So I did not remember that Lisa Vanderpump coined Kentucky Muffin. Had I remembered that, I would have leaned harder on it. But yeah.
Like, I've been hesitant in saying it because I didn't know where it came from. And now that I do, I'm like, oh, now I can say, but then I was like,
that's right.
Maybe I shouldn't. Still, maybe I shouldn't say it.
So,
yeah.
Oh, all right. So sorry. I interrupted you.
No, I mean,
the story.
I don't have any more. Jax strolls in, as he says. I love that, at 3 a.m. after a big night at Sir. Nothing going on in the house. It's quiet. Lights are out. till he goes into the bedroom and sees all the action, which is Kristen and Brittany getting it on, and he has a couple different ways of describing it.
Yeah. Well, if we were to quote Lisa, chowing down on her Kentucky muffin.
Kentucky muffin. That's right. And he's flipped out. Sandoval is making like, dude, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And basically, he got jaxed.
Yeah, he got jaxed. And Sandoval's like, listen, man, that's the LA handshake. There's a ton of bi-curious Southern girls in WeHo.
Yeah.
But I do like how this is once again framed as Kristen's fault, and it's something that she has done. And I'm in a minute, whenever Sandoval is telling Ariana about it, Ariana frames it in a really, really non-consensual way, and I don't love that. And like the rest of the conversation around it,
I don't think I picked up on that. Yeah.
Well, because she was like, well, you can't go to sleep around Kristen. That's what Ariana says. And that is, I mean, especially in light of, in 2026 lens, in light of the Rape Academy and all of that. Like,
I thought that meant more like you can't leave her alone for a minute. Like, you got to keep eyes on her. Not that Kristen was attacking Brittany in her sleep.
Well, she says you can't go to sleep around Kristen or else that's what happens. That's what happens.
I know, but I think I thought she meant like a person's partner can't. That's a very different story that people are.
I know, but
I think other people would be mentioning that if that's what happened. That's a very weird scenario.
I don't think that's what happens. I think that's what Ariana is trying to like interject because she hates Kristen so much, which is a really gross thing to do. I don't think anybody is Brittany is not accusing Kristen of that. I think Ariana is just trying to like hang any kind of dirty laundry on that situation that she can. Maybe she wishes Kristen was stomping on her New Jersey muffin. But
California, but that's
okay. Sure. But
that's locally sourced right there. That's a locally sourced muffin.
Farm to fork right there. But the story just catches fire. And I say catches fire. Really, Jax is just like holding the match, pouring the gasoline on the match every time. He will tell anybody who will listen. And then will tell people that he told anybody who will listen. So he is unabashed. His story is not changing. He is locked in to it. And so he goes back and forth about how he feels. And I wrote, this is the first time I was like, does he feel cheated on or does he feel hype? Like, I can't tell.
Right. I mean, you'd think this is fucking Christmas come early, right? I mean, this is, if we know anything about Jax, I'd think so. But then the decision for Lisa to be the second person he goes to is that's just not a good move. I mean, it's hard to tell someone who has been cheated on, I guess we'll call it, if this is what happened. But going to her, like, we have seen people go to Lisa about sexual encounters and it doesn't go well, ever. Yeah. It doesn't go well. In fact, the person Jax claims to hate the most did this last year and it went horrible. So what did he do? That very thing. And it's a big problem.
Poor old Lisa. She is just walking around with all of this knowledge that, frankly, I don't think I would want about my employees either. She knows that Lala gives rim jobs. And now she knows that Kristen and Brittany are, doing the lay down roll around.
Jax is trying to get her fired. It's my immediate thought, right?
Really?
Like, Jax is like, let's throw something out there and see if that happens. Yeah. Just anything, because he's throwing something out there. Yeah.
But so here we are at the OK party, which Sandoval earlier suggested it is like the Sir Christmas party because everybody goes and you get drunk and then really terrible shit happens, which here we go. We do know that Stassi is back with Patrick now. Are we going to see Patrick? We did not even mention him in our predictions, hopes, and dreams.
I thought he was gone. I thought he was out of our lives forever. Yeah.
Or are we going to see George Glass? Yes, what do you think?
I think yes. At some point this year we will. Now that he's come, he came up first episode.
And isn't it weird that Kristen's the only one in a stable relationship? I feel like that's a TBD. But like let's not be rushing.
Because Katie and Schwartz don't count, right?
Well, maybe Stassi blocked them out. Maybe, I don't know. It's like they have a blind spot to the shorties. Like, it's like maybe they're just so desensitized to it that they think, oh, this is just how they interact with each other because Schwartz is already on the hate train. He's already talking about how Katie is acting this way and that Katie wanted him to inherit these grudges. And Katie says, this woman is terrorizing me on the internet. Or
Yeah.
I added internet. And I wanted to ask you, as a person who has a spouse, and I have a spouse,
Yes.
I know how I feel, but so is it reasonable for your spouse to ask you to uphold the grudge or be mad if they have a reason? If there is something, is that a reasonable request?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. It really depends on the situation. Most people in the entire world, myself included, are going to side with the person they're in a relationship with way more than this dude does. But also, most people I know that are in a relationship don't talk to people like Katie really does here and come from a little more better reasoning than she does. I mean, this crew just starts yelling right away. This is where we left off.
I want to say this. That I am never going to eat at a table in which my spouse has not been invited to. And
absolutely.
Schwartz like does the opposite. He like seeks out tables that have decided not to invite Katie. And not only does he go sit at those tables, he fights for his right to be able to sit at those tables. And we know that these motherfuckers get married. They showed us already. And maybe they had to show us because of this season that they're about to do. But like, you kidding me?
Yeah, and I guess I shouldn't say it depends on anything because I'm going to be with my partner. I just am like, oh, interesting. What's this scenario? I kind of wanted you to paint a story, I think is all. But yeah, you're just with them. And also, if you aren't even on their side, it's kind of like how I scream at these people sometimes. It's to be like, yeah, shut up and get out of here. And then to your partner, you're like, what exactly is going on? Like, let me know. Yeah. You're going to react the way they are to the other person. Exactly. And then in private, just let me know exactly what I'm in for.
He does coin the phrase vagina mafia, which I am on board with that. Like, sign me up. Where's my application?
I think if somebody else said it, I'd be on board, but he said it. And I was like, that's
fair
stupid.
Enough, but
if you had just coined it right then, I would have been like, that's fucking great. Let's get t-shirts right now.
I'm really sorry I missed it too. But then he said something like, I need a lobotomy. And I was like, another one? Like, shut up. Don't act like you were frozen in carbonite from the minute that the reunion stopped to the minute that the cameras picked up in the summer. Like, you have been seeing this all along. You know the entire context of.
I love when Brittany comes up and everybody, we talked about how much they love her. Like, she comes up and everybody's like, all right. Oh, it's all going just downhill. They're all hollering. Brittany comes up and everybody's like happy and it's new picture time and let's get on Snapchat, which, it's gone. We've seen it go Twitter. Now, then we got to Instagram. Now we're getting into the Snapchat. New season, new social media.
I got to get something off my chest. I need you to close your ears. Close your ears. Okay. I have to say it. Jax looks so handsome. He just looks so good with his suit and like his bloat has kind of settled down. Maybe Brittany has given him a probiotic. Maybe his nose is finally settled. He looks so good. Okay, over. I'm done. Rant over.
Can I listen again? This you're over. So animated. I really want to know.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I can't believe I've got to wait 2 days to hear this. Well, guessing it didn't have to do with Kristen showing up and saying ratchet immediately, but that happens.
I was talking about how handsome Jax is, but this is the first instance that we get that Jax's story about her Kentucky muffin is there's a discrepancy. Because she's denying.
When like Tom's telling Ariana? Oh, okay.
Before that though, yeah. So like when Brittany comes late, right? She sits down. She's like, I need a drink. Jax and Kristen have exchanged a few words, and Kristen doesn't deny it. In this moment, I guess that Brittany and Kristen have not gotten their story straight because Kristen doesn't deny it. She doesn't confirm it, but she doesn't deny it. And so that's when
I kind of thought she was like Kristen and Jax were on the same page. Like Kristen was kind of like, What do you want me to say? Like, if we're manufacturing something, let me know. If it really happened, let me know how you want me to say. Because, of course, I think Kristen and Jax have their own situation going on.
Yeah.
Not necessarily physical. I just mean they have a plan that no one else is privy to. Yeah.
And then this is the third time in which somebody says, I'm just so grateful for these girls. I moved out here and I didn't have nobody. And now I'm just so glad I got them. So
I don't know what I'd do without them.
I don't know what I'd do without them. And so that's 3. Now, I don't know what hell that these folks have wrought now, because everybody is like, oh, life is so good. So, of course, the sky's going to open up and rain fire, obviously.
Well, and even Ariana's like quite a bit sunnier. You know, like she's getting the story from Tom. She's all happy about it. She's got like the seafoam green on. She's smiling about everything. You know, she gives a goofy nickname to Kristen, the cunnilingus Kristen, which obviously, if they're really getting into something and Jax leaves and her and Brittany had a whole night together, I think Fist and Kristen probably would have been better. But we'll get to the other part of that.
Jeff Brantley, I am shocked. I am scandalized by that. I mean, it is solid. It is a solid rhyme.
Thank you.
But I can't believe it. But I do have a few things to say about this.
She does fight also. It could be, you could go either way. Look for that merch.
If it wouldn't be fisting Kristen then if it was about her fighting skills. But anyway, this is where she accuses Jax being ratchet. But I think Brittany is denying this. First off, she's desperate for Jax to stop talking about it. She's like, she's probably pinching him so hard in his underarm, like my mama used to do when we were in church. Mm-hmm. But her mom and her people back home are not going to understand this, right? She's embarrassed. And
she understands things get recorded and broadcast later also. Just maybe her partner doesn't, but she does.
Well, what I think happens is I think she doesn't understand that things that happen off camera can often make it on. I think she felt safe because the cameras weren't around. It was before filming. It was in between filming. It was something I think that she thought she had a little bit of safety in that space. And these folks have 4 seasons under their belt. They know for a fact ain't nothing safe. And also, too, we've all met Jax. But my thing is, if it's untrue, Brittany's not mad enough, right?
Yeah.
Like she's not, and even later in that scene, wherever she's like even getting mad, she's still not mad enough. And Jax, if it is true as well, and he's really mad about it, he's not mad enough. That's why I think it's a little fishy that she's trying to say that it didn't happen.
Yeah, and he's acting like he's fishing for how to feel. Like, I mean, he's selling Stassi. So 2 of the 3 people we've seen him tell so far are his boss and his ex girlfriend. So horrible choices right away. And also at a party, this is just aired the fuck out. And a lot of stuff's about to be.
I am going to give Ariana the benefit of the doubt in one of the moments in that conversation in the ladies' bathroom when she says, ooh, Grody. I am going to assume that she's saying Grody because it was Kristen.
Yes, that's it.
Right.
It's not 2 women. She's talked for days about how much she likes being with other women. Yeah,
but I am not going to give her the benefit of the doubt when she says, ugh, you can't, that's what happens when you fall asleep around Kristen. She does that. Like that's a dangerous insult or accusation. And I don't know. It feels gross.
I'm not reading that like that. Yeah.
Well, she may not have been it either.
I'm not here to get Kristen's back ever, but I'm not getting that vibe at all.
But maybe Ariana didn't mean it that way, and maybe my post Me Too ear hears it that way, but I'm just saying, little yike. It is kind of interesting now that all of a sudden Stassi and Jax are buds again. I guess there was some repair done between the reunion and this. Oh, and also Jax calls it eaten vag. But that's how he explains it. Stassi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Stassi wants to crawl under her seat and disappear.
She's like, I don't know how to feel. And I'm like, you shouldn't. There's none of us what would have prepared you for this? Like, no, you're just sitting there like, man, I hope Kristen really keeps it together tonight. Then you get this news from.
Well, look, so then this is about the time that hell cracked open and released its demons into the world, and Lala and James roll up. And as Lala puts it, they roll as a pair. And I'm just going to say right now, she picked wrong. She made a very, very wrong strategic error in aligning herself with this fucking man. Just saying.
I agree, obviously. And obviously it's a bad choice. But for this episode, she has made her decision. I mean, she is into it. She is
Well,
on that team.
Yes, it kind of feels like she's made her decision. Generally, she flopped her legs open, slept with him, and now they're best friends. And they are kind of inseparable throughout this entire episode, which, boo. And this is
No,
where,
I mean, it's like they had, I mean, how long do you think it can take for us to piss off everybody? I can do it in 35. Like, you do it. You piss everybody off immediately then.
it's so bad. Like, they saddle up to the, which I imagine is the designated Vanderpump Rules table, because that's probably how these press things go. Sheena made some offhand comment about he probably couldn't afford his own table. Bitch, you didn't pay for that table either. None of y'all did. Like,
She is all about who paid for what, though. You know, like she's clocking the expenditures.
So, and this is sort of like the subtext of it, right? That some of the stuff that's the fourth wall, that Lala and James probably came up to that table because that was where the VPR cast is supposed to be. Did they have to come in so hot? Absolutely not. But I don't know who started it. Like, I don't know.
They started. They come in. I think for this, what we see, they come in. I mean, they come up grabbing bottles, talking about their physical appearances and everything.
Before that, though, even before that, they give a whole, like, you can't sit with us on Wednesdays.
They did. I mean, yeah.
So, like, but as always, like, Lala and James brings a bazooka to a knife fight, right? Like, Katie's being sort of like passive aggressive, like, you really shouldn't be doing this as a person that you would talk a shit. And then next it's like, well, you're summer body, you fucking fat and pregnant. So they escalated it for sure.
Yeah. And it may be like what got said, whatever posts they're talking about or whatever comments got made, it may be like we see some egregious shit on there that we don't know about in this episode. We're like, they shouldn't have gone to that fucking table in the first place. You know, like there is some unsaid stuff.
Agree. Props to Sheena. She slaps that drink right out of James's hand. She's like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, hell yeah, girl.
She's like, I'll stand up and do this. Lobotomized Schwartz wants to just sit over there.
And how dare you talk about her no-nose?
Do they have a reputation at this point? Like, and I mean, I'm asking you, really, like, do you remember, do they have like a tabloid reputation for being some shit stirrers? Like, oh yeah, the Vanderpump crew is at the OK party again and fucking Sparks flew, or, you know.
Well, you have to remember that in 2016, the online blog and the online influencer and like the, street journalist was not a thing. Like, we didn't have these TikTok influencers who were, on the scene, parsing through everything. And so whatever was happening was making it to major news outlets. So it's like, okay, or the Inquirer or Us Weekly.
No,
like
we
that
got
kind of stuff.
What about like
But
the Gawkers and Perez Hilton and all those folks? Those folks have been around since early 2000s, though.
Yes, but most of those
people in social media, like just people.
Like what? Right, but most of those folks were not on the inside, like what they like how they invite social media influencers in today. Like, they were having to like infiltrate or have spies or whatever. So whatever was happening, they were still treated like paparazzi.
You here in Georgia, do you know about them outside, behind the scenes at all at this point?
Most of what trickled down to like the old regular folks was from social media when they were beefing on social media. I mean, they like them fist fighting in a club wasn't showing up on Instagram. Or
okay, that's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I might have not been in that bubble, so I might need to do a little bit of a Google on that to clarify. But I don't remember like that happening in a way.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
So it just erupts, and James is always using the bottle of vodka as he's humping it. And even Schwartz gets up to intervene. And I want to point this out because it's important to his story later. He even stands up and is like, you're being such a dick. Get out of here. You're being a fucking dick. He says this out loud.
Yeah.
And then this is where I got a little hot under the collar, where Jax storms towards him and takes his jacket off. And he was like, I don't even care if I go to jail. And I'm like, yeah, give it.
That's horseshit. He's not going to do anything. We said this at the end of last year. We all know the hold me back guy. Jax is totally being a hold me back guy. He's got everybody there who won't let him. Whatever. I'll get off that soapbox here.
You'll never talk me out of it, Jeff. I'm so sorry.
I don't want to. I'm just here to provide the other side of it. Like, Jax was never going to do shit, is all I'm saying. I love, like, when old pampered shows up though, like, and they're
Well,
immediately like, "What
so
all's going on?" Like, "What? Why are we here?
Jeff,
We're
really
getting out of
quickly,
here."
Sunday has a question. Have you
Yeah,
ever heard the phrase "a tall gray" in reference to an alien? I had to look it up.
no, I didn't even catch it here. I mean, I remember them talking about being an alien, but
Well, so that's what Stassi's talking about. She's like, "Oh my
yeah,
god, they're like two tall grays," and I didn't understand. Apparently, Stassi is real into like alien theory and stuff because that is like it's like a subtext, in Reddit and subreddits and in the internet. Like maybe she's like a super geeky alien nerd.
I can see that. She's got
It
a
right
lot
now.
of time on her hands, likes being on the internet, likes having wine. I can see getting into some, I mean, why not? Get on there, check it out, see what's out there.
I know. I find it endearing if she is. I think that's really fun.
I mean, she's very
Truth is out
violent
there.
in her like descriptions, about how she would kill people. So like I can see a horror sci-fi side of her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've seen her old like teenage goth pictures.
That's right. So,
Absolutely.
I
She
mean, it
knows that.
tracks. It tracks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you were talking about Pampered at the Disco rolls up. They're late and they have missed this whole thing. And so, this is a little bit of a window into the larger dynamic. It seems like that Ariana and Sandoval have been the only two folks hanging out with Lala and James. The only two
Right.
people who have decided that whatever, because Katie does it both passive aggressively and I think as just a way she's like y'all's friend and I know y'all are this, and this is kind of what the beef is between him and her and Tom later. But it seems like they're butts because Ariana even says Lala is my friend.
Yeah.
Tom doesn't really say that, doesn't go that far for James, but kind of seems like they're the only two emissaries that they can rely on. But Schwartz calls them horrible people. And
Schwartz and Katie are being horrible.
Yeah, then to each other because Katie said this was the pivot point. Katie was like, I know y'all hang out. And that's when, because listen, ain't nobody gonna insult Tom's lover, Tom. That's when he jumps up, his neck gets red. He's like, don't you dare insult Tom. You can't believe it. I won't have it. I'm like, dude, did you just witness all this? This man called your girl pregnant.
I thought you would just be like, pregnant. Kiss. Y'all kiss. Well,
I mean, listen. But Tom Schwartz, if he's going to be loyal, it's going to be to Sandoval.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't insult Tom. But this is where, too, I just had a little mini rant in my notes where I was like, I'm not going to spend another season bemoaning this fucking dynamic. Like, I guess if we have to hate the adjective, I guess if we have to watch them do it, if Katie's fine with it, we're going to have to be fine with it. Like, I guess we're just going to have to stop bitching about it because she's
I think
cool.
I think it's more important, like, sure, they're having a big blow up. What's more important is, because that's going to happen. It's already happened. We've seen it happen right now. We know it's going to happen in the future. What's a little more important is that it's Tom Sandoval again, going over to James, like, what the fuck's going on? And James, of course, pours out and he's got all the family stuff going on, which is heavy, but he's acting horrible. So I'm not excusing any of that shit at all.
Yeah.
And he and Ariana once again are like, God, we're getting out of here. And like, I immediately flash back to episode 1, I think, of last year when they first catch up and they're like, we haven't seen you two all year. And I'm like, I wonder why. Is it because they're trying to do stuff on their own and get away from, like, because what are y'all doing? Going to the new Hollywood party and hollering at each other? It's the same. We've done it 75 times already. Like, yeah, we're going to do something different.
Is it Sandoval's job to go over there? And James says they were being diswelcoming, but he calls
somebody has to.
Do they? Do you think it was a producer?
Look, he's
thing?
part of the group. I think he wants to just kind of get to the bottom of it, comfort him if he can. I think he knows that James is going through a lot. I mean, he and Ariana both mention it. I mean, he and James knew each other before we knew James on this show, right? They had producer music connection. So he does have a history, even though he's not like, yeah, that's my main boy, James Kennedy. Sandoval can be really caring. Like, if you are in his world, he will look after you. So he is kind of big brother in him. I mean, who's he going to talk sense into? Jax fucking Taylor? Like, he wants to go over, chill out.
I guess.
He also might be smart enough to know that, like, if the Vanderpump party keeps blowing up at the fucking OK party, guess who's not coming to the next year's OK party? because no one wants to keep seeing this group just make asses out of themselves. We gave them a whole section of the rooftop bar, and like, they're being dicks. They don't have to come. There's a million other famous people here.
Well, I don't know if they don't want him to act a fool too, but I just need to
That's
say
why I was wondering about the rep.
Yeah. No grown adult human acts like this in public about their parents' divorce.
That's
That
what
has
he's
been
saying. He's like, I've been
coming, but that's been ongoing for a year. Like, he falls slap the fuck apart. I'm talking about tears. And to Sandoval's credit, he's like, listen, man, everybody's parents is divorced. Nut up.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot be acting like this about your parents' divorce. Like, you are having a psychotic break. And he's just like, I mean, he is full on sobbing, like shoulders just racking. And I'm like, oh my God. But in the wake of this is where the rumors about Lala being a mistress and the other woman start. Now, this is something that I do remember. And I know that this is going to be a thing that carries through this entire season. This is it.
The sugar daddy stuff.
Well, yes, but like the sugar daddy that is married and has children. And
okay,
so a Range Rover.
And they're buddies with the married guy?
It sounds like someone's friend is friends with the married guy's wife.
So is this their business at all?
Hell no.
Okay,
it is none of their business.
Just checking.
No. And again, to Ariana's credit, she is going to treat a rumor as a rumor until otherwise. And I like that too, because I am so glad Ariana got her SSRI cocktail right, because she seems better. Okay?
Yeah.
She seems better. And Lala claims that she was just giving as good as she was getting. And I don't know. I think that she gave a little harder than she got in that way, but maybe she just, she got inflamed. She got activated, as they say.
Oh, she is activated. Definitely.
And
you want a break?
And this is where Lala invokes the whole bullying thing. And, we throw that word around so much, and I don't love it. But I think in some ways it applies here. But for it to be bullying, isn't there some sort of inherent power differential? And there's not a real power differential between Lala and the vagina mafia, right?
They're just arguing. They're just in an argument at this point. Like at the beginning when there was, she was new and there were people not getting along with her. It goes back, maybe it is because Katie never was really welcoming to her. Since Lala showed up, Katie has shrunk less and less kind of in our idea of all these people. Like we were huge Katie fans for a little while, and ever since it's just been kind of less and less. We were starting to really like Lala. Maybe now 10 years later, Lala goes back and is like, oh, I was also quite a bit to deal with, now
it's really body shaming.
They've got power because they've been around longer. She has power because she's super young and hot in movies and making songs.
Right.
So who has the real power? I don't know. I'm probably gravitating towards Lala here.
Well, it's
for what it's
really
worth,
hard.
as our people say.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really hard for me to know whose side to take or who to sympathize with. Because, James is falling apart in public. Lala's crying, which both is a real switch up from the working on your summer bodies. Congratulations, you're pregnant. But I just, the thing about reality TV, here's the thing. You can hate it, but you still have to connect to the characters in some way. You have to believe them. You have to find their experience relatable or something. And this is what's so hard to me is that James and Lala are putting so much dramatic distance between themselves and the audience that I'm having a hard time enjoying what they're doing, because it is so alienating and it is so hard, and it's not an enjoyable experience. Now, the flip side of that, which I think Jax Taylor has learned how to do this, he is a dirt bag, worse than James ever was. But audiences love him. Even then, they rooted for him, and he for some reason, whatever experience he was having was really connective to the audience and to the viewers. And James and Lala have not learned that yet. Lala kind of did, but then immediately when she hooked up with James or, aligned herself with James, negated any of that power that she gained. And so now I'm like, ugh, every time they're on the screen, I'm like, ugh, no, I don't want it. And that's a
Well, this
bummer. We
is
don't
where I
want that from
was
our show.
coming from at the end of last season, right? I was kind of
Yeah.
struggling. I mean, we kind of had an
Yeah.
unofficial Sunday pulls Jeff in episode where we
Yeah.
had this big discussion because I am losing place because I don't have a pick sides. I'm pulling for the fan. I want to see interesting stuff happen, and I don't even want the Katie squad and the Lala squad. That's horseshit. I want this group as a unit moving forward productively, not all the infighting. Like, I want them fighting with another restaurant crew. I want them taking on the Pump people and the Villa Blanca people or something like that. Or just Hollywood in general. Like, everyone, just the infighting. It isn't interesting to me. It's just mean, and it's
Right.
making me not like any of them. And I'm not even like towards the end. I'm like, if Lala would break away from this, then she could be her own person, and that would be wonderful. One episode into this season, I'm like, maybe I don't even want that right now. I'm still very interested in seeing it.
You hit the nail on the head right there, though, where you said it's just mean. For it to be interesting, for it to be meaningful for a viewer to watch it, it has to be more than just mean, right? Like there has to be something. And I think maybe the producers are trying to do that, showing James's parents' divorce. That's not doing it for me. That's not enough. And,
No.
and maybe that's why we love Jack so much, because yes, he is terrible and awful, but he is very real in what he allows. Like, we saw this man go to jail and get out. That, we've seen him cry in a car. We've seen all of that, and it's not just mean,
No, and I mean, as someone who was not watching reality TV in 2016, a big reason I wasn't watching it is because when I imagined what reality TV was, it was a bunch of rich, spoiled fuckers hollering at each other to no avail when they were just going to get more rich and more spoiled. Now that I'm in this and watching this, that's exactly what this looks like to me.
It's not beating the allegations, is it, Jeff?
No.
But we go from this scene where we're just kind of we're feeling real ick to the scene in Villarosa where Katie has signed up to be LVP's assistant. That is interesting. That if we could see more about that dynamic, see all of these quote businesses that Lisa is and how she stays quote busy, that is interesting. See Katie grow in that or struggle in that or be something. And I did a little math though too. She's giving Katie $30 an hour for 6 hours a day. That's about $900 a week, $3,600 a month. Not a bad take home
for your third job.
Yeah.
I mean, you got you got the Vanderpump, and now you got this. No, it's pretty great. It's pretty awesome. And also, it's a smart move. I mean, I think this is a very smart move. We noticed halfway through the first season or something when I was like, oh, they're emulating these housewives ladies. They see them around and they're like, they infight like this and they're getting all this notoriety. That's what we need to do. And now that they've been at it for a couple of years, and she's like, well, I am having to do this role and I'm doing the fighting, but I'm still a server at SUR. My boyfriend tried to work for the company in some fashion. Well, that didn't go well. I need something else. Hey, I'll just go to this person who is Helms, who is on Housewives and this show and has a restaurant empire. I'll just go work for her directly.
I mean,
absolutely. And I bet Sheena didn't sleep for a week when she heard that she was going to go do that.
Did anybody check on Sheena when this happened? Did anybody
I bet
check on
she
Sheena?
was full in bed for a week. Like, why didn't I, that was the move. I just came over here to be a server. Why didn't I just sign up to be a,
But look, there were many shows at the time that were very popular. Kathy Griffin's Life on the D-List. What was that Jeff Lewis show in which she had one? Rachel Zoe's. Like, there was a lot of shows that were doing this. I think it was a smart move. Now, do I think that Vanderpump Rules is going to see that storyline through in a way that's going to feel satisfying to us? No, I do not. They're 100% going to shit the bed on that. And Katie's going to flake out just like Stassi did. Remember? The same reason, but that's the reason that we like Kristen. because we know that Kristen's not performing for something. And this is where we talk about where we move to Jax and Brittany and talk about performing. And this kind of goes another to what me and you were talking about here. She's still griping about her working there. And then the chowing down on Kentucky Muffin comes up again.
Yeah.
And Brittany again is adamant that it didn't happen. She continues to deny it. He claims that he's weirded out. But here's the thing. One of three things can be true. It has to be true for him. Either one, he's proud and wants everybody to know, but he's pretending to be weird, or
I
two,
can see this happening.
Or two, he's actually feeling weird, is doing this to like process it out or like figure out how to feel about it. And he needs somebody to tell him how to feel about it. Or
less likely.
Number three, he is for real mad about it and wants to embarrass her.
That's also very likely. I can see two of those for sure being a case. One of them a little less. Yeah.
It happened. I believe it.
Because he's all over the place. He is like verbally even all over the place. Doesn't know where to go. And also, this is where we left off with him at the end of last year. I'm like, then what? If you keep saying every time I get by myself, then I can think for a minute. Then, dude, go by. I'm not saying move out and be by yourself. I'm like, go to a park, go to the beach,
Jeff,
go work out, go do what you got to do, man. Like, take care of yourself. Put the air on yourself so you can save somebody else in this relationship with you. Like, take care of yourself.
Notorious for bitching about a situation that he created. And no matter what happens, he's going to bitch about it because that is just sort of like how narcissistic sociopaths perform in the world. Like, nothing's ever his fault. He never has agency over anything. But this is an interesting moment in Vanderpump time.
No, I do know that my wants are hope in a hopeless world when it comes to this a lot of times. But we don't even get the dog's name.
So I fear this is going to be the start of Jax censoring himself or censoring what he reveals to the cameras and to the viewers because of Brittany. I think that Brittany is less likely to be as open and honest and raw about their life than Jax is. Jax has never, ever, ever pretended to be anything but, he's juking, drinking, fucking, drugging, bartending. Like, that's who he is, okay, here I am. And I think Brittany, as a way to maintain a very specific image, she's like, listen, dude, you're not going to be acting like this. You got to clean your shit up. And I predict, which I didn't know to predict this after season 4, but now that I see it, I predict we're going to see a much more curated Jax and Brittany, because Brittany is going to be a little bit more involved in what we see and what they present. And which is going to be shitty for us, because the whole reason that we liked watching Jax is because there was no pretense. There was no performance other than what he was himself.
Yeah. I think there's always been a whole lot more going on under the surface than there is with him. Because, we've always said, like, he comes around to the truth a lot, but he doesn't always start there.
But what I mean by that is he's never pretended to be any otherwise than that. He's never said, I'm a good person, I'm a saint, I do the right thing. Like, he's always been fairly straightforward with who he is. And Brittany hitched her fucking wagon to that. But I do have something about her too. How long is this fucking woman get to hold over that she moved from Kentucky to him? How long? Is it forever? Is forever?
Yeah, if it's
I moved from Kentucky from you.
I guess she gets to say it as long as he bitches about her being in his space. If he's going to keep complaining about that, then she gets to if he's going to go off about the same thing, then she gets to go off about the same thing.
A new apartment though. Katie and Tom have another apartment.
Very nice. This one's much big upgrade here.
And they have a new dog as well. His name's Butter. So funny.
Butter. I figured they would say it like Butter. The bibbies and Butter.
I had an old boyfriend, one of my pocket dirtbag line cook boyfriends, who had a dog named Butters. So they're having a meeting of the minds here. The Vagina Mafia comes over to their new apartment. Schwartz forever talking shit. He
completely negging out.
I do think it bears mentioning that Stassi made glasses for the bride and bridesmaids after she janked on Sheena real hard. Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't even back down from the phrase bedazzling. So also, it's very early in the season. Coming around on Stassi more than anybody else over here. That's who.
I know. I never left. We also learned that she shit her pants one time. Stassi Schroeder, just like us.
Well, not us. I'm not going to include myself on that one.
Okay, whatever.
But yeah, Stassi and Tom have both. Also, I'm not going to be like, make the face like Katie did. Like, like.
I know. But even that wasn't as embarrassing as the damn OK magazine party too. But Schwartz is like, should I be here? Should I not? Should I need to whatever? But so they're like, no, please stay. But he's using this access to judge them and saying things like they're falling back into their old ways. They're bringing out the inner mean girl of each other. That is so judgmental. And it is just such a weird way to connect or to say something about the person that you are engaged to.
No, it isn't.
So stupid.
No, when she's around, Katie feels more empowered to call Schwartz out on his bullshit, so he hates it. That's all it is. Tom doesn't get away with as much bullshit as he does when it's just Katie, when she has more empowering girlfriends around, which is great for her.
Yeah, but he also acts like her talking about other people, especially like Lala, is somehow offensive to him. He calls it the haters ball. Like, let these women sit around and gossip if they want. Don't sit there and look over their shoulder and criticize everything they're saying. Like, shut up. Like these women interact in different ways. I have gone on my rants about gossip and how the patriarchy has turned gossip into like a negative thing, but really and truly it was just a way for women to keep connected and to understand their lives and to pass on stories and relating whatever. Now, do I think that it's productive for them to call Lala a whore and a, street mistress, whatever? No, I do not.
Names. Let's just say names.
Right. Yeah. But do I think that it's right for Tom to, judge their connective tissue here? No, I do not. So fuck off, Tom, please. Go step in front of a bus, put us all out of our misery. That's over.
I can't imagine you asking me a question that starts with, is it okay for Tom to blah, blah, blah right now? And I go, absolutely it is. Yeah, it's totally right. Sheena has a want. Also, did Kristen walk in the door? She just kind of appeared. Like, Kristen was just there again. This is like the seventh time on this show. Like, we're 70 something episodes in, and I was like, she walked into frame, but I was like, no one got up, like to let. Yeah. And I know that can just happen, but if it's not Kristen, then I probably don't say anything. But the fact that it's her once again, just apparitioning,
she just appears in a cloud of
smoke. But Sheena's got once for the wedding.
Yes, she was really hoping for that bridesmaid situation.
I really want to be a bridesmaid.
We saw in the trailer that Brittany gets to be one. I did notice that Brittany. So I don't know, Sheena. I really fingers crossed, man, because I don't know if she'll survive it. Brittany's just there to enforce.
She's building her pink ladies. Yeah.
So the very last scene is Lisa pulling James for a chat and ostensibly scolding him. She does call him a little bitch, but. Yes. And she says something very important, that he does this thing where he wants to get her eyes so they notice him and acknowledge that he's there. And that's almost exclusively why he does that, I think. And he's like the little brother who aggravates.
I mean, we also had a scene with like Lala and James at Pump.
Oh, hey, puppy.
And where Lala gets to talk about Sheena and your favorite reality word of this last decade, accountability.
I didn't even write anything down about this scene right here where they were talking about like Stassi's this and Sheena's this.
No, I just wrote that Lala thinks that the accountability and Stassi's hot. That was it. That's that.
Yeah, I think I did write that down. I did think Lala thinks Stassi's hot. I love it. Gotta add that to my fanfic. How you doing? But we end it there. LVP is all bark and no bite, and we'll see. But I want to talk about I'm going to give you a few little bit of scenes from next week. But next week's episode is titled "What Went Down."
I did not know that. That is awesome.
Yeah. So it's just James is on another apology tour. Lala goes to her mom. Maybe she's a vicious person. The Bubbas need a prenup. I don't know. Jax's lie
Yeah.
about Kentucky Muffin starts to come back around, which we don't know if it's a lie or not. And then they fight about it, and they get LVP involved. So that's what next week. But I have quite a few because the pasts.
Okay, I only had one. So
really, you go first. What was yours?
The Haters Ball. Like, I got that from Chappelle's show, like 15 years before this is on, and so that kind of made me laugh that they called it that. So that's it. That's all I had.
We were around these folks' age, maybe a little bit older, so some of their references land with me too, because I've got a couple of the references too. Stassi's joke about Taylor Swift and all her boyfriends, that was a real hot topic. Taylor Swift writing all about her breakups and makeups and stuff, and that was kind of fodder for all the jokes. You already mentioned Snapchat. I think Tom's man bun needs to go in the archives in a way that is firmly in the past.
It's still here. That's still here. Sorry.
And this may just be me reacting or me projecting, whatever, but like the weird judgment over the bisexuality, maybe not Ariana's ooh gross. Like, I think maybe we decided that we're not going to hold her accountable for that. But especially Stassi saying, like, I mean, come on, what if it was my boyfriend going down another dude? So what if it was, right? Let's don't erase, bisexuality. Let's just sort of say everybody can be cool with everybody, especially happy pride, everybody.
In general, in most cases, 2 guys are grosser than 2 girls in most areas.
Well, I
just mean grosser. Not in a sexual way. I just mean guys are grosser than girls, period.
Men are gross generally. So
that's all I meant.
I was shopping for some pride gear for me and Carla, and I ordered a shirt that says, "I've literally never met a man."
Man, it reminded me of Wanda Sykes had this bit like 30 years ago. I mean, a long time ago. Like, she wasn't even out, I don't think. And about asking her husband at the time, like, about a fantasy, and he's talking about 2 women. And then she starts talking on stage and was just doing this whole, and this is a little bit because the past too, just like her just imagining her coming home to her husband and another guy. And it was just being like, she's painting this picture of just like 2 middle-aged big dudes, just like, and all the noises that go along with it. Anyway, check out some old ass Wanda Sykes. It's pretty funny.
She's strong. And then my last one. The last one is the cherry on top, our Kentucky Muffin. I'm just going to tell you, I am strictly dickly.
Yep.
Man, my skin crawled.
I was wondering why you didn't bring it up. I was like, if she's not saying it, she's saving it for something. Okay.
Oh yeah. That is ridiculous. And if that was 2026, she'd be like, yeah, it's fine. I'll let her go down on me. We had too much to drink, whatever. I like dudes, but whatever. And I think, it would be the best thing ever if the cast of Vanderpump Rules would go back and rewatch some of their old episodes and talk about them. That would be wildly popular. So if y'all are listening, y'all come on and talk about it.
Yeah. Do you mean together?
Or just individually, just like assessing their own behavior and commenting about how they're different now and how much their thought process or their values have changed.
Maybe every like 3rd episode on Stassi's new show will be her and Christina and Katie just sitting around with the vagina team talking about.
I don't know if my karma is that good, Jeff. Like, I can only fucking hope. But so who is your Vander chump?
Tough, because we got a bunch of them at any time.
Tough because James and Schwartz exist, but
no. I guess like are Christina and Danny and people like that? Is that like a C or a D team now? Is that just all pushed down?
That's a 0 team. As far as season 5 is concerned,
that's lame.
We don't know.
That's lame to me. I
Who
think
are they?
Yeah. I'm tired of giving it to Shorty, so I'm just giving it to Peter's short hair because it gave me such a
solid
big
choice. Because I was going to give it to Tom's blonde extension, but I didn't. I gave it to Brittany, our Kentucky Muffin, and not because she can't pronounce Sauvignon Blanc, because she's being a liar. She's a lying liar. We all know that you that Kristen did a job on you, come on. Just say it out loud. It's fine. Nobody's mad. Just, she partook of your Kentucky muffin.
But
Okay?
you don't remember for sure 100% if it happened or not? Like, this is speculating, or you do?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just going to say my intuition is telling me.
I also am on, if I've got to pick one or the other, I am also guessing that it happened. Yeah.
I think, but also too, because in real life, it's not that big a deal. But because this is a reality show, which is shown to your uncle and your pastor and your Sunday school teacher and your soccer coach and all that kind of stuff, you have to maintain this. But in real life, like, nobody gives a shit.
No, and a lot of times the more you deny it, the bigger it becomes. And you, like, in a restaurant, 2016, two girls that have been out, this happened, like, hey, did you hear Brittany and Kristen hooked up the other night? Like, you find that out on Friday afternoon. By Monday, no one's talking about it. It's out there and gone. I mean,
there are stories I could tell you about, but like rewind 10 years, it'd be like a girl in a restaurant, 2006, be some things that would scandalize you. Okay. I'll see you in a minute. You want to show Jeff? Come here.
Hey, Sheppy.
Hold on. He got something at the candy store. Look. Can you eat it?
Oh, it looks fun.
Okay.
Mom says no. That's a big no from Mom in the back.
No, nope, cannot eat it. Okay, so
well, I didn't see him, but hey, Sheppy.
Who you just saw the?
Yeah.
All right, who's your LVP?
My LVP is Pampered, because when we see them,
God, mine too.
They're level-headed, and I mean, it's just nice. They stay at the party for 15 minutes. I always love that, and it's just like, all right. And in their confessions, they're not talking shit either. It's not like they left the party and then they were like, those bunch of motherfuckers, they're ratchet and she's a hardbag and da-da-da. Like, no, man. They just, and I even said something like, for just getting along. That's all you talk about. I've said this years ago, even watching the show. I said, just, if anybody was just somewhat level-headed, you're going to do great here. Like, these people just flying all over the place, and for nothing, because James knows he's going to get a bunch of shit, and he's going to get up there and he's going to make an ass out of himself. Jax knows he's not going to end up fighting James. There's all this, I know nothing's going to come of it, and it's stupid. Wow. And I'm tired, and they better change it up real quick.
Well, it looks like they have, like I said, she had her meds adjusted, because I also have Pampered at the disco. And for all of the reasons that you just said, that they're just lighter and they are trying to stay above the fray. And Ariana, even when she's like sort of like janking on Kristen, when she calls her cunnilingus Kristen, which is funny, and it's a little bit of like a dig or a barb or whatever, but it's not mean, and it's not below the belt, and it's not something that's going to age poorly, if you want to say.
No, Kristen was below the belt.
Yeah, she was. She's below the Mason-Dixon line.
Hey, all right. Get in touch with those Fist and Kristen merch ideas, everybody.
Oh my God, Fist and Kristen is. I mean, you had two. You had Ralph. You had Ralph Machismo, and you had Fist and Kristen. So we're
off to a great start. Our dummies are. I know. They're not.
I know.
Not,
this is
so good. We're picking up the slack here. I say.
I know. We got so heavy into it, I didn't even do business. But y'all, go find
Check
us at our socials. Everything is there. It's at Take a Pinot Pod. If you have questions, email Jeff. He'll
Jeff
answer
at Pinot Pod.
all. Yeah.
And also, for real, we have 24 episodes left.
Yeah, I believed you when you said 2 dozen. I believed it.
It's just a lot.
All right. Okay. Well, y'all see us then.
Bye.